Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. So I'm going to be doing the astrology of the first week of January. That will run from January 1st to January 8th. I've decided that perhaps I will do the astrology of the month week per week because there is a lot of things that are going on, and it might be better to just do it that way. So let's share my screen. Okay, so let's get started. We're doing the astrology of the first week of January. So today actually is January 1st, and it is a Saturday. The vibration for the day is an 8th vibration. And today we have a major aspect with the sun making a trine to Uranus at 11 degrees of Capricorn, the sun, Uranus, and Taurus. This is a trine of understanding and social rewards. This is that 240-degree trine. And in this energy, it is about sharing what we know and understand, and being open to other points of view, what have other people understood, and we come together with this energy and with this information, so we can move on to the next part of the journey, which is the next major aspect between these two planets, which will be a last quarter square. But now things are flowing, things are working. It's an energy that is available to us if we access it. The trines don't hit us in the face, so sometimes we're not even aware that they're happening. But the sun brings illumination and Uranus brings change. And so we have illumination around what needs to change in our lives, what needs to change in the collective. And of course, the only real power we have is the power to make our choices. So the choices that we make in our personal life do count, not just in our personal life, but in the life of the collective. The sun is the planet associated with Leo. Leo rules the heart. So there is a heart-centered energy here. We are in a new universal year vibration, which is the 6, and that 6 vibration, as I spoke of in the Kabbalah, is the 6th card in the tarot, which is the lovers, which is about choosing. It's a card of choice. It's a card of love. It is also the path that connects the Divine Mother with the Sun, S-U-N-S-O-N, of God, Goddess. So this is connection to the Christ consciousness, and we will have that all year. And that is a connection between Saturn, which is found in Bina, and the Sun, which is found in Tiphereth. And so the Sun and Saturn demarcate our third dimensional reality. And with this trine there, it is time to make some changes. So this started as a synodic cycle way back on the 30th of April, 2021, when these two planets came together at 11 degrees of Taurus. And the Sabian symbol for 11 degrees of Taurus is a woman watering flowers in her garden. Development of the powers of the mind on which ego consciousness is based. This is about what thoughts, what ideas, what kind of things are you watering? What is it that you are putting forth? What are you growing in your garden? Now we come to this trine, and Uranus is back at that 11th degree. So that applies as well. So that 11th degree of Taurus remains the same with this trine. And we add that 11th degree of Capricorn, which is a large group of pheasants on a private estate, refinement and propagation of aristocratic values by means of which man participates in the evolution of life toward an even more perfect form. That should be perfect, not perfect. Must have been autocorrect or something. Forms of existence. So this isn't really speaking of the aristocracy that we know of as, like, the posh and stuck up and all of that stuff. That's not really what this aristocracy, not illusion, alluding to aristocracy here, is a refinement in the way that we live. And so we have been through a lot. We have experienced quite a bit. How do we improve things? How do we improve things? How do we make them more pleasant? How do we make them more refined? How do we make our energy more refined? How do we drop the density and the dross and those things that the energy of like there's a clogging, right, of the energy. How do we release that? Well, we'll have an opportunity with this trine. So tomorrow, which is Sunday, sorry. I know what day it is. No, I don't. Sunday, January 2nd, 2022, which is a 9 vibration. That's the vibration of the hermit. 9 is about healing, unconditional love, and wisdom. We have a new moon at 13 degrees of Capricorn. The Sabian symbol for 13 degrees of Capricorn is a fire worshiper meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. The keynote here is the subjective quest for ultimates beyond the interplay of life and death processes. Are we ready to demonstrate man's will to transcend? Are we ready to go up a notch? Are we ready to let go of all of these things that separate us and make our life a living misery? And are we ready to work together to bring a more refined energy, an energy based on what is in our hearts? Can we do that? Well, this Capricorn moon gives us an opportunity to do just that. And we can see up here, we have the moon in Capricorn in this chart. This chart is erected for Washington, D.C., but it is in a natural Aries rising chart. So we can see where the energy applies to everyone. And so we have this new beginning here in the 10th house. The 10th house is, it's our public self, it's our public persona, but it also speaks of being an authority in your own life. You know, putting on your big girl and your big boy pants. This is about taking responsibility for yourself and your life, not blaming it on other people, not blaming it on the government, not blaming it on the scientists, not blaming it on the insurrectionists. I mean, certainly those things happened, and certainly those things need to be looked at and discovered and worked with and understood. But you personally, how do you take authority and responsibility for your life? That's what this new moon is giving us an opportunity to do. And this new moon, of course, is trine Uranus, right? Because we just had the exact trine with the Sun and Uranus. And so we can see that trine to Uranus. Uranus in Taurus, new values, a new sense of self-worth, a new sense of what is important and what is essential in your life. And very often we figure that out through the process of having those things taken away from us suddenly. So what has been taken away from you? What have you learned from that? And how do you want to restructure, Capricorn, your life? Now we can see here that the ruler of Capricorn is here, Saturn here it is 13 degrees of Aquarius. Let me find that Sabian symbol. I don't have it here, so just give me a moment. I have to go get the book. Oops. So this is the Sabian symbol for 13 of Aquarius. Let me just pull it up here. Are you like me? You can't read with your glasses? A barometer. The ability to discover basic natural facts that allow us to plan in advance for action. In the broadest sense, this implies an awareness of cyclical processes, and this includes astrology. The key word is anticipation. Anticipation. So there is a certain amount of anticipation this year as we start the year. Um, there is at least here in the States, there's an anticipation that perhaps we're going to get some answers and that people are going to be held responsible. Um, Responsibility is a sixth vibration, and we are in a 6th year. So we will be held responsible, as it were. And of course, the more you know, the more you're responsible for. And so we need to be much more refined in the way that we approach life. Our ideas, our thoughts, our actions need to be aligned with what we understand to be true in our lives and in what we understand to be what is necessary. Capricorn is about rolling up your sleeves and doing the work. Capricorn is about doing what needs to be done. It is Capricorn is a delayed gratification. It's a delayed gratification. If you want to really get what you want to get, you need to be willing to delay gratification, and you also need to be willing to work really hard. And so wherever this new moon falls in your chart will depend on where those new beginnings are going to start and where you're starting to take responsibility for yourself. If you're wondering where that might fit in your chart, you can check out my horoscopes, because I do talk a little bit about astrology in those in a very sort of general conversational way without all the details. So that might be something you're interested in. On the same day, January 2nd, we have Mercury ingress into Aquarius. Now, Mercury just came off of a conjunction at the end of 2021 to Pluto. It is ingressing into Aquarius. It will turn retrograde while in Aquarius, and it will, at the end of the month of January, make that conjunction to Pluto again when it is retrograde. And so we're actually going to have 3 Pluto, Mercury conjunctions, just like we're having 3 Venus, Pluto conjunctions. So there's a real rethinking of our values and a real rethinking of our mind and the structure of that mind. Okay. On Wednesday, the 5th, Venus, which is retrograde, will be making a sextile to Neptune. Now, this is the second of 3. The first one occurred on November 30th, 2021, and the last one will occur on February 24th, 2022. That is right around, that's 4 days after the first Pluto return of the US, interestingly enough. These sextiles are opportunities for progress, raising all boats, compassion, humanitarianism, and revolutionary change. It's especially potent because we're dealing with Venus, which is the planet of love, and Neptune, which is the higher octave of Venus, which brings love to a higher, finer vibration, which is the vibration of compassion. So this is, we have healing compassion available to us. Neptune, while often given the moniker of the planet of illusion and delusion, is also the planet of spirit. And when we have these opportunistic or easy flowing aspects to Neptune, we have access, direct access to God, Goddess, soul, that is, direct access to our it's just easier. I mean, we always have direct access, but sometimes you get a busy signal with the sextiles and trines, which this is not. This is a sextile. If you ask, they will answer. If you build it, they will come. Okay. And then Saturday the 8th, which is a 15-6 vibration, that is the devil card, right? The sun makes its inferior conjunction to Venus retrograde at 19 degrees of Capricorn. when Venus is retrograde and making a conjunction to the sun, it is positioned between the sun and the earth. And so it is the closest it will be to the earth. And in that respect, our Venus issues are right sort of in our face. Because it's retrograde, we're talking about um, really getting down to the bottom. When Venus is retrograde, she is taking a journey, especially conjunct the sun. She is taking a journey to the underworld. And within the underworld, she finds her strength, she sees her shadow, and she finds her power. So this is a very powerful place, a position for Venus, even though we can't see Venus because she's under the rays of the sun. She is going through a deep transformational process. And when she comes out on the other end of this, she will be the morning star. And the morning star is the warrior Venus. So this is going to be this is a very potent and transformational time for Venus, for love, for women, for the feminine in all of us. 19 degrees of Capricorn, a 5-year-old child carrying a bag filled with groceries, rising to the occasion when asked to assume social responsibility ahead of one's normal development. The key word here is accelerated growth. We are going to be asked more than we think we can do. But I want you to know you can do it. And that's true of you and me. And that's true of people who are younger than us, and perhaps even people that are older. We're going to be asked for all of us to roll up our sleeves and do what needs to be done. And age is not going to be an excuse in any way. Wisdom comes from all different directions at all different levels. There's the wisdom of age. There's the wisdom of the child. There's the wisdom of the teenager. We all have wisdom to share. And we need to work and walk our talk and follow our hearts. That is really the direction, following our hearts. So that is what's happening the first week of January. So I hope you find this helpful. Like and subscribe if you would, and you'll check me out next. I guess it'll be next Saturday. Yeah, maybe. Today's Saturday, right? Next Saturday for second week of January. Okay, guys, much love. Namaste. Happy New Year.